So let's get into Tyrese and DJ Envy.
Person that was my brother and helped my relationship, not the Tyrese that I was going through. So I took a step back from
So you got
until
the
we had a
text
conversation.
messages of the psych med Tyrese?
He did. That's
Oh,
what it
you
was.
crazy? Charlamagne told you to suck his dick before on that message.
Because you was talking crazy.
Whoa.
You know that. We had this conversation already.
Guys.
But he literally said, I don't. He said, I don't.
Yo, I want to say throughout, because I watched a large part of this interview and I just couldn't do it anymore. But I do want to say that Just Hilarious is very funny to me during this interview because she keeps trying to be like the voice of reason. She keeps trying to be the more mature. But also I feel like they kind of ignore her, and when they feel like it, I think they sun her because she doesn't get to have a lot of input in a conversation. It's almost like the little girl is sitting there amongst these grown men, and I don't really like that. And I wish that she was able to assert herself in relation to them a little bit more. She of course asserts herself whenever she's talking to the public, but when she's talking in this room, I need somebody that's not going to Angela Yee the situation. I know somebody probably told her that's the route to take, but be a little bit more confident when you're talking to these niggas or when you're talking with these niggas, because they do like to sun you as a woman. Just saying. But let's continue on listening to Tyrese tell us that everything he's been doing for the past few years is because of this one instance of him being on medication.
I don't remember any of that.
I don't remember what I said that made you say that
but
or
to this
made
point,
you feel that way.
But to this point, I took a step back because I didn't know what you were going through, and I tried to talk to you, and I seen who you were, and I didn't even like who you were online. And to my point, I tried, and when I seen how you were talking this way, I said, I'm going to take a step back.
And you know, when me and Tyrese had a
how convenient? Yeah, how convenient. Yeah, when the way you were talking, the way that you were.
How convenient to step back.
What you mean?
I never stepped back from you.
From you.
It's right.
You should have.
But I never talked to your wife in a disrespectful manner, and you talked to mine in a disrespectful manner. And I never told nobody that. Even when you were on psych meds, and you could say that you weren't.
What you mean?
But as a man, some of the things that you said, Tyrese, deserve me to box your mouth.
Well,
and I didn't. No, we were talking because this is something that I never wanted to say, and since he wants to be, well,
hold up, did it stop?
Why, Envy? I'm telling him why. You said disrespectful shit to my wife.
What do you say?
Okay, so I don't know who DJ Envy is trying to fool with the idea that he's some big bad guy, but he's not. Box your mouth? Like, dude, shut up. I feel like DJ Envy is a bitch. Like, I'm sorry, but I feel like you're not a good friend. You're not. Like, let's be clear. Tyrese basically helped DJ Envy get his wife back. But Tyrese, you did that not because you really care about DJ Envy. I think you're one of those men that you hate to see other men lose their women. So you're going to come and help, the men keep their women because you're still hung up off the fact that you lost the woman that you are constantly talking about all the time. Your ex-wife that you say is so terrible, but you're always fucking talking about her. You have yet to move on from her, even though you have another girlfriend. Tyrese in recent months has been online showing himself to be an asshole to that girlfriend by talking about his ex-wife right in front of her face. And whenever she says anything about fucking Paul Walker, he wants to have an attitude and be big mad for the rest of the day. I think he is egomaniacal. He has said himself that he is not a good person. And I feel like at the end of the day, Tyrese, you went to help DJ Envy for two reasons. For one, because you wanted to be on his good side. You do something extra for somebody, you can look for that to be returned in some way. Even though you keep saying you didn't do it for that reason, you're lying. You did. And you just learned that you can't trust somebody like DJ Envy to go up for you just because you went out of your way for him so you can sing and help him get his wife back after he cheated on her with Erica Mena. The problem is you felt like you wanted to insert yourself and help him, and then you was coming looking for that when you was having your moment. You now checking for everybody that you never did something for. Like, did y'all have my back when I was going through it? Nigga, nobody has to do that for you. If you text DJ Envy wife on some crazy shit, he does not have to forgive you and move on because you have issues. Because to be clear, I think you do have issues, but I also think a lot of the times you know exactly what you're doing and you don't give a fuck. And you know you can use having your mental issues against people to make yourself not be held accountable. I also feel like Charlemagne kept laughing in your face because Charlemagne knows you're full of shit. I think the reason why Charlemagne refused to take Tyrese serious at any moment throughout the entire interview is because he knows that Tyrese is one of those bitch ass, sensitive ass niggas that act out and do the most. And then whenever somebody say they can't fuck with him no more, or they, move themselves away from him, he wants to be a victim. I listened to this interview with Tyrese and it annoyed me. And like it was tiring me out energetically. I had to get off of it. Then reading the comments and watching how many people think that Tyrese is a stand-up guy and he's such a great guy and DJ Envy's just not a good friend. No, DJ Envy's a piece of shit. I feel like we should know that by now. We should know by now that DJ Envy is a piece of shit. Like, I'm sorry. That's the way he comes off. You don't care about nobody. Anything you do good is so you could feel less guilty about how much of an ain't shit nigga you are. Like, that's what it feels like to me. You often like the grandstand and go at people in a bitch made ass way. Like, I don't know what has happened, but there's been like a transition from him being kind of like lame and corny sometimes to having a very like indignant attitude towards people. Like, I feel like DJ Envy has been getting really sporty about the mouth recently. And I don't exactly understand why. It's weird. But Tyrese annoyed me. I don't feel sorry for Tyrese. I don't understand why everybody thinks that Tyrese has been acting a fool for years. And y'all are acting like that all happened in one instance. And it didn't. It didn't. Courtney, thank you for being a member for 18 months. I didn't see the entire interview, but as a person who takes meds, I found it very dismissive and condescending. Envy kept mentioning the psych meds. I don't feel like he was the only one mentioning them. Tyrese kept mentioning them. Like, if you listen to the whole, listen, if you have the energy to listen to the whole interview, it's exhausting. But let him finish.
It's neither here nor there. To the point where my wife doesn't call you back anymore. And
child, please.
When the way you were talking, the way that you were,
how convenient to step back.
What you mean?
I never stepped back from you.
From you.
It's right.
You should have.
But I never talked to your wife in a disrespectful manner, and you talked to mine in a disrespectful manner. Oh. And I never told nobody that. Even when you were on, you could say you were on those psych meds, and you could say that you weren't.
What you mean?
But as a man, some of the things that you said, Tyrese, deserved me to box your mouth.
No.
Shaman, wait a minute. Box your mouth. Wait a minute.
No, we were talking because this is something that I never wanted to say. And since he wants to be, well, why Envy? I'm telling him why. You said disrespectful shit to my wife.
What do you say?
It's neither here nor there. To the point where my wife doesn't call you back anymore. And to the point when you started talking to psych meds, me and my wife had a conversation and said, well, maybe Tyrese was on those medicines when he said it. But if you ever text me and my wife, you can't text me because I just unblocked you probably about a month ago when me and Charlemagne was talking, and he told me that you were on the psych meds and this is what it was. That's what made me unblock you. So that was the reason why I stopped talking to you and will not reach out to you anymore, because I'm like, I don't want to remember my brother as that. And maybe you were going through problems. So if somebody if I talk to your wife, disrespectful, I don't expect for you to come check on me. Okay. And that's how I felt at that time.
That to a lot of people though.
But maybe y'all should have had this conversation.
No. Listen.
This is great. We having it when God wants us to have it.
That's it. And
when we can get paid for it.
And I'm going to say this, because this is not the first time I've said this. The things that I said and did, the people that I rubbed the wrong way, the things that I posted, my conduct overall that was literally out of my control. I've literally prayed that people can find it in their heart to not hold me to something that I said.
When the way you were talking, the way that you were.
Okay. So I think that Tyrese is giving y'all what y'all want from him in this moment. But let's go find where's the here she go. Like, I'm looking back on relationships. This is Tyrese's wife, because he was just recently online talking shit about her again. He's still online talking. He was talking shit about her in the interview. Because Jess was like, you didn't see any red flags with her? No, and nobody saw any red flags. Are we really going to sit up here and act like she's the only problem in their relationship?
Y'all. And I see that I was the problem. Why was I the problem, Sam? I was the problem because I didn't see me accurately, because I didn't see myself well. I didn't see my value. I didn't see who I was. I didn't see those things. I think that I accepted things I shouldn't have for way too long. I allowed people to kind of dictate the terms in which I would accept, without really having a great understanding of who I was. And therefore, I stayed in relationships way past their expiration date. I allowed myself to be treated in ways I should have never allowed myself to be treated. And, that's just what it is. And so when I look back on it, it really was me not having a really great understanding of self. Me not having a great appreciation for who I am and my value. And I think that's for a lot of people. I think that, sometimes you accept in the bare minimum.
Okay, so let's talk about it, because I see what they're saying in the comments. So let's read. Tyrese blasted his ex-wife Samantha Lee in a long Instagram post on Tuesday. The singer and actor said Lee has been gaslighting him and called her a narcissist and manipulator who's demanding $20,000 a month in child support for their daughter. He said, I have no clue who this person is, captioned alongside a clip of Lee speaking into the camera. Gaslighting is the most vile form of manipulation. She's out trying to sell people on shit that nobody is sold on.
But what you cannot say, and what I will not allow to be said, is that doesn't make any logical sense. If it was about money, I would have just stayed where I was at. Clearly, I had access to everything that I wanted. That doesn't make any logical sense. I wouldn't leave it to go work multiple jobs. And people know I make a good amount of money. Why would I do that for money?
Y'all can't hear this? Okay. It's acting stupid, but whatever. Let me finish reading it. He then claimed Lee hates that our business is out on the media sites, but that a friend of hers told Tyrese that she's enjoying all of this attention. He also wrote that she took their baby on her own and lied in court documents that leaked to the press. Tyrese continued, for a woman who doesn't want money from me, you've already hired 3 different law firms trying to crack the prenuptial agreement. You drugged this divorce trial out into almost 3 years, and now you're requesting a new trial with the jury. It was never love. I think that's what all you niggas say whenever women don't want to be with y'all anymore. I think y'all all say that every single time. In late August, Tyrese released his single where he slams Lee for allegedly using their child for $20,000 a month in child support. Oh, he's really mad about that child support. And I just want everybody to know that this is the white woman he was calling his black queen. Okay, like I want to remind everybody that this is the white woman that this man was calling his black queen. To me, it sounds like Tyrese is mad that he is being put on child support based off of how much money he has. Like, Tyrese, you're rich and you've been in court getting a divorce from your wife who you have a child with. You now have to pay child support based off of how much money you make. And you're angry about it. That's all it seems like to me. Yeah, he can't be single because he doesn't want to be alone. But he also doesn't want to treat women better. He thinks having money means he should be able to treat you however he wants to treat you. Well, Samantha must have been like, bitch, I'm tired. So I'm going to go ahead and leave. And I need you to take care of your baby. And so I'm putting you on child support. Y'all be real mad when these men get put on child support. And I don't understand why. Why do you care about, because they like, you got what you wanted. They really in the comments big mad because this man has to pay child support. I don't understand the way men get so angry about having to financially provide for their seed. Like, you created a child, you have to pay for that child to live. That's how it goes. You have it in your mind that you're giving money to a woman you're not fucking. That's what you have in your mind. And you're angry about that. Also, you mad because she didn't stick around. A lot of y'all abuse these women emotionally and mentally in your relationships. You treat them badly, you talk down to them, and then when they leave you, you get even more angry and decide that them leaving you is so fucked up. To me, it seems like you got with your preference, and your preference ran your pockets like she would have done any other man that she married and had a divorce from. Like, what? Let's see. The custody battle followed a less than amicable divorce where accusations were thrown from both ends, from allegations of child abuse against Tyrese to Norma admitting to threatening him and having a temporary restraining order placed against him. Tyrese even checked himself into a hospital for chest pains and anxiety, child acting like a whole bitch. A very public meltdown before ultimately being awarded 50-50 custody of his daughter. Several years later, Tyrese finds himself in court again for a custody and child support battle with his most recent. So you're constantly going through the same shit every time a woman leaves you, where you want to act like a victim and act like they doing something to you because they want you to take care of your children. Okay. To me, I feel like you were using Samantha to make the last one mad. And now that hasn't worked out. And now you're using this one to make Samantha, like, you're just doing the same thing. To me, Tyrese is the obvious issue here. Like, to me, Tyrese is the obvious issue here. Yeah, this is messy either way. Like, I'm sure she said some things about him, but yeah, no, Tyrese, it definitely feels like you're the one that's always whining about not wanting to pay for these kids after you done broke up with these women, and or these women have broken up with you. And that's what I think. I just think y'all don't like paying child support to women because you always want to have access to those women. And a judge telling you that you still have to pay for those women without having access to them, you have to pay for the children you created without having access to the women. I think y'all hate that. I do. I think y'all hate that. I think y'all do. And I think that's on you. It's a fact of life that if you have a child, you're going to have to financially take care of it based on how much money you make. That's how the court system works. If you don't want to go through that, go and get a vasectomy and don't have any children. Go and get a vasectomy. But you continue to marry and have children with women. And when they no longer want to be in a relationship with you and they ask for child support, which they should, you want to act like, what more do you? I want the $20,000 a month, nigga. That's what I want. While you over there building mansions and shit, going to Home Depot every day so you can build something on your house. Now you suing Home Depot for $45 million. Like, at the end of the day, Tyrese, it seems like you always are a victim. You're always a victim. You're just always a victim. That's what it feels like to me. It seems as if she got awarded that money and you real big mad about it. And it seems as if you can financially afford it. You can afford to pay her for the baby. Like, get over it. Go to therapy and go get a vasectomy. Stop having fucking children. Stop having children with people. She was your black queen and she ain't even black. And now you sitting up here calling a marriage a joke. You're a joke. You're a joke. You should have left that preference in her culture where her asking for child support wouldn't have been publicized and bitched about like this. Because trust me, white men be just as aggravated about paying child support. But what they don't do is get their fucking asses on social media and cry to the public about it. That's what they don't do. And a Benihana's and Starbucks in his house. Yeah, Tyrese, you can afford to pay $20,000 a month if you always over there acting like, you know, you richy rich. Like, cut it the fuck out. You're not getting shafted. And I think the men who you be crying online to feel like you're being shafted because they're broke. and because they also don't want to pay for their children. Stop having them if you don't want to pay for them. It's very simple. Okay. But for you to think you're just gonna be able to move on and not be financially responsible, and those children don't have to live an accustomed lifestyle because the mama don't want to be with you no more. Like, because I do think a lot of y'all niggas like to punish the kids because you know it hurts the mother. So I'm not gonna give the kid what they deserve as my child because it makes my ex's life easier, and I don't want to make her life easier. I want to make her life harder because she doesn't want to be with me, and I'm bitter about it. That's usually what it is. Now let's go ahead and move on, girl.